same options. Okay. So if I do it for my communication piece, you can see I can go in and I click post a message, and you see it looks the same as it did when I clicked a while ago. So it's a couple more clicks doing it this way than it is doing it from the dashboard. But here I can post my message that says maybe it's a peach pie, since we have a peach festival, peach pie cooking class. Join us. And then it may be an event, or it may be an activity, or this might be something to where it's maybe bring your protractor day. I can't type when people look. So you can decide is this an announcement, is it an activity, maybe we have a field trip, or whatever that you want to do. And so the parents will get an email, the students will get an email, and again, you've got all this information here. But here's what you've got with this activity that you don't have when you post events, okay? So with an event, it's just saying, hey, it's peach pie day. But let's say that I've got an activity here, and maybe I want them to, they're going to bring the protractor. I can go here and I can attach an assignment, if I've already made an assignment, or I can attach a file. And what I could do here, I could attach a file that tells the history of protractors. Or I can highlight this and attach a link to a website about a protractor, and they have to read that website. So I can go through and I have options here for the activities that I don't have, just posting those general events. So for those general events, it's things like, hey, peach pie day, meet the teacher night, wear red day. But in this activity, this is where maybe I'm wanting them to do something. Where, like on this previous message here, bring your field trip, and I've attached a link to the permission slip for that. And just like in everything else, you've got that information there. Again, here's my gear icon, clicking that gear icon, and from that gear icon, I can choose the classes that I would like that activity message to be posted on. And then I click send message now and post. And life is good. If I don't click send message now, the parents don't get an alert. All right, and the question in the chat says, when we send a message to a student or parent, is that seen through the PowerSchool portal, or is that seen via email, or both? They will get an email that lets them know they have a message. They can't read the message through the email. They have to log into the portal to see it. Okay. All right, so that's our activity feed. And now the next piece are the messages. And when I want to click on the messages, I have the options to send a message to just a student. So I'm going to send Jane a little message that says, hey, I know you were absent, but, be sure to make up all your work by Friday. So if I just want to send a little message to Jane, I click send, and that message goes right to Jane. If I want to message Jane's parent, I can say, hey, I know Jane's been out. And I can just say, hey, make sure you pick up on Friday, and send that to the parents. But what I can't do is message the student and the parent at the same time. And I also can't message multiple students at the same time. I can only message one at a time. So if I am going to want to send a message out to multiple students, I might just put that in the activity feed. If I want to message the whole class, I would just put that in the activity feed. Now, here's something that you need to know, and our students would never, ever do anything wrong. We know that all of our students are precious. But let's say little Janie got mad. I'm going to switch over here to Jane's login. I think we're here. Let's see. So this is Jane, and see Jane's got a message from Mr. Kaiser. So we're looking at a student screen right now. So there we go. there's a message from Mr. Kaiser from Jane, bring your protractor day, from her activities, okay? And Jane can also look at, her messages and so forth. And, oh, look, Jane's reminded that her work is due tomorrow. Well, let's say that Jane decides she wants to message me back as a teacher, and maybe Jane is really upset. And so Jane just decides to say something not very nice to me, and she sends it. Okay? So Jane sends that message to me. Bad Jane, bad Jane. So now here's Mr. Kaiser. That's who I'm impersonating today. And do you see how from my dashboard Mr. Kaiser has this notification? Oh, and there's Jane's message. See what Jane says. And I'm going to look at it. What? Look what Jane said to me. I can't believe it. Well, then Jane has second thoughts, and Jane goes back and deletes the message. It's gone. You can't ever retrieve it. So if there is a message sent to you that is questionable or inappropriate, and you have decided that that is not a message that should have been sent, and you need to do something about it, you will need to screenshot that message. And that's going to be a rare thing. It could happen, probably won't, but I do want to tell you about that. So in that message center, when you go in to send them, if a student sends you a message or a parent sends you a message, you will not be able to retrieve it if the parent or student deletes it. Okay? And also over here, again, I've got my notification here, and I also have a notification here as well. So plenty of ways for you to see that you've got messages. And as a teacher, you can choose your email notifications as well. I don't want email notifications for any of this because I'm logging into it every day. All right, so let me looking at the chat. It says, can parents and students access the live chat? That is going to be permissions-based, based on what you decide in our class settings. So when we get to our class pages in a little bit, I'll show you that and how that works. So yes and no, it depends on what you do. Also in the messages, when I click a student in the message app, there is no place to write the message. Okay, when you do this, you've got to scroll to the bottom. Okay, see it's way down there? Don't you think it needs to be right here? I do. Yeah. But they send it to the bottom. So you have to go down to that bottom to access that. And then for a Spanish-speaking parent, will the message translate for that particular parent? Not that I'm aware of. That is a question that I absolutely do not have a definite answer for you for. And sometimes you might give me some questions that I don't have the exact answers for. So I will write that one down, and I will get back with Carlos and let him know. So I don't believe it does auto-translation, but let me check to find out for sure. I know that's a big question, especially with all of our bilingual schools and so forth. So I've got that written down, and I'll get back with you on that. So those are our communication pieces. Any questions on the communication piece? I think you'll see it's fairly intuitive. All right. Well, then let's go and let's look at our students. Go ahead and click on your students icon. This is one of my favorite pieces. I love this part. The two reasons why I love working with PowerSchool is the student feature here and the class pages. All right, so let's look at this. Automatically, when I'm looking at this, immediately I can tell who's failing. I know somebody's got a problem. Look at Jessie. See Jessie? Yeah, Jessie's got a 58 in my class, and she's missing an assignment. And little Kendra's missing an assignment. She's not doing well either. Oh, little Donald's passing, but I've got a missing assignment. So right here, this works with your workbook to let you know who's missing assignments and immediately who's in danger of failing that class. Just from looking here, whole group, whole class. So to me, I think that's pretty powerful. I'm going to click on Jane Anderson. So right now, what I'd like for you to do is just kind of watch for a moment, and then I'm going to turn you loose with a little task for you to work with your students. So we're going to always remember to hover to discover. So when I hover over Jane, you can see I've got details that I can view. I can send her a message. I can even look at her demographics. Again, this detail or the message is the same thing that I have here under communication. So again, multiple rows to get to the same place. So I've got a couple of options. If I click on Jane's name, I get this view, okay? If I hover to discover and I click here to view details, I get this view on Jane. So if I hover here on Jane's name, and there's my view detail icon, there's my view detail icon here. So when would I want to use one versus the other? If I want to quickly view Jane's details, quickly send a message to her parents or look at her demographics, I'm going to use this. If I want to have options, and I want to not only see Jane's details or send a message or view demographics, but I want to see how many late assignments she has. I'm getting all the information here on Jane when I click on her name here. I can see late assignments, missing assignments. In addition to that, I can see alerts and her contact information. Now, it looks like in my sandbox, the contact information hasn't been added, but when you get your real live school set up, your contact information will be there because it's going to pull it from the SIS. But right now, I can look very quickly to see that she is a diabetic that cusses. So there you go. Diabetic that cusses, just what we want, right? So there's Jane, and I can get that information. But there's more to that than what you see here. So let me show you a couple of other things with this and with Jane. So let's close out of that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click on View Detail, and remember, if I click on that little eye icon, we're always good for that. So if I click on this eye and I want to go in here and view Jane's details, look at all the information I have. So go ahead and click on one of your students, if you wouldn't mind, and click on that View Details icon, because I want us to go over that. And it's very quiet there. I still have everybody with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I've got like dead silence, and I'm like, ooh, you're either watching or you all left the room. All right, so if I click on that, I'm going to look at the overview. And I love this piece. Now, if you're not grading with standards, you could actually, probably what you would see here would be maybe traditional progress, or you might just have it blank in your instance. This is set up for schools that do standards-based grading. So your actual instance is going to look a little different. So conceptually, though, it's all the same. So when I look and get an overview of Jane, I can quickly again see where she is, but I can go right here and edit her scores from right within here. So I can edit Jane's scores on her assignment on here, okay? All right. I can click here and I can look at all of Jane's assignments. So if you click on the Assignments tab, here's what you see, all of Jane's assignments that I can click and organize by category, by name, by status, and so forth. Right. And then if I click on Quick Links, that's a whole other area we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But you can see, I can see all of her assignments, I can see her demographics. This is kind of everything you ever want to know about Jane. Her schedule, her term grades, her student photo, any comments that teachers have made. And this is going to be personalized from your school district, or from your school. So depending on what your school determines is going to be in this quick link information will be determined and will look different. So let's go ahead and click back on the Overview tab. So go back to that Overview tab with me a moment. How would you like to be able to easily see Jane, your student's progress in all his or her classes, not just yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to see that?
Yep.
Yes.
You can. Here you go. If I click here, I'm in Overview right now. If I click here in Classes, I can choose the classes that I want to see how Jane's doing. So I want to see how she's doing in history, and I want to see how she's doing in physics. Or if I want to see how she's doing in everybody, I can do that too. I just want to go ahead and see how she's doing in history and journalism and physics. And when I click submit, now look at what I get to see for Jane. These are her grades that she has in AP History. And I hate to sound like an infomercial, but wait, there's more. If I click on that down arrow, I can see how many assignments Jane has missing or late or incomplete in her history class. So now if Jane is being a dud in my class, I get comfort knowing she's a dud in everybody else's too. But if Jane's doing fantastic in everyone else's class, but doing poorly in mine, then that's something I need to start researching and see what's going on as well. So I've gotten all that information. Now, I can't edit the scores in someone else's class. I only can edit the scores in my class. And also, I was doing a presentation a few days ago, and I got a really strong-worded email from a teacher who was saying, I cannot believe that you're showing student information. You're violating HIPAA, you're violating FERPA. These are all fake people. Just so you know, these are not real students. These pictures came from Photostock or somewhere. These are all fake people for PowerSchool. So what you're seeing, they're all fake people, okay? So we're not violating any kind of thing, okay? Wanted you to know that. But here I can see all that information about Jane. Right. If I go ahead and click on the Assignments tab, if you don't mind. If I click on the Assignments tab, and I click on Classes, and I want to see these same classes, and I submit it, now I'm able to see all of Jane's assignments that she has in other classes, as well as the due date. Now, why would it be important that I know the due date of all these other assignments in Jane's classes? Why might I want to know that?
Pick a different day.
Yes, different dates for things. If I've got a big project coming up and I say, ooh, this is a third project due July 26th. Oh, geez, let's rethink this. Or I may go talk to that physics teacher. Let's sit down and talk about this for a minute because we don't want to bombard the kids. Because that physics teacher is going to want the very best work from the students as well as I am. And I know that we're not going to get the best work if we've got everything due at the same time. So that becomes very, very helpful as I am planning my lessons. Okay, now again, wait, there's more. I can click on this filter and I can choose where I just want to see how many missing assignments does Jane have. So I click missing and tell it yes, apply that filter. And now I can see that Jane has missing assignments in physics, AP history, and journalism. But if I just want to see the missing assignments that Jane has in my class, I've got to go back in there and take that off. And then I can just see what Jane has missing in my class or incomplete in my class. See how I'm doing that? I was doing okay there. Or maybe or by Jane the category. I can do that category and filter it that way. Just some things that you can do with a student. So what I would like for you to do is just to take a moment to go in and play with that student for a second. Look and see. Take a moment to actually physically hunt and peck and play with those filters. All right, you're going to see my screen disappear for just a moment. Do not panic. I've got to fix something on my end, and it's just going to go black for a moment, and it'll come right back, okay? So no worries there. It'll come right back at us. So there you go. And be right back there with you, okay?
Okay.
There we go. So take just a couple moments and look at that Students tab. Here's something you can do. I'll put it up on the board for you. View the details, view the assignments, edit the score, explore those quick links. So let's just take a couple minutes to do that.
I really like that.
I heard somebody say, I really like that. I'm so glad. I really like that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
And how are my folks doing that are off by themselves? If you have any questions, please add it in the chat.
All right. So that's what just- Okay, 120 to 142 students.
Otherwise I get all the time. But if I don't know, then it's not the problem.
I sent you something and it said,
That's because you
no, even when I go, like, I can't see rosters. Can you see rosters? What the heck?
I had a missing
So
I saw that email, but it just went.
I got two already. But they don't take, just take it like.
All right, are there any questions that you might have so far? Any comments you'd like to make?
It's good, thanks.
I had a
You
question.
like it?
Yep.
Okay.
We
We are about half, go ahead, did you have a question?
I did, is there any way to search for like a range of scores rather than just one score in the assignments category for the student details?
To just search, okay, let me go back to the
So I
screen.
get like search to see what he's gotten a C on, but could I search for like below C or just like individual scores?
I think you can only search for those individual scores. Let me find this real quick. You can run reports. There are reports that will do that for you, however.
Okay.
And you've got the reports. I don't believe you've got a search or a filter for those scores. Let me go back to my student here. And let's see. So let's just look at Jane and let's look at her scores, let's look at her assignments. I can sort it by score that way. I can sort it. And then so all of her scores that she's made a C on come up here through a sort.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yes.
But that's not through the filter.
That works, so that fixes it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I haven't had that before. Anything else?
Can you see the overall score of a student, like their performance?
Their overall score, their overall, like their grade, their current
Yes,
average for the class.
for the whole, for multiple classes.
Okay, yeah, so right here, this is telling me the average here just for this class. If I go into classes, and I'm just gonna go ahead and select all classes. Right here gives me the current running average in all classes.
And all of them together?
In this view, you get all, no, it's not going to average all of these and come up with one average. All individual. So I've got a running individual average that I can see for each individual class.
Right,
Did that answer your question?
and then, thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else? Okay, well, we are halfway through, yay! I like that, y'all are doing great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, okay? I want you to set your phone for 10 minutes. That way you will know to be back. And I'm going to do the same. So we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break, and I know you all had lunch, so you'll probably appreciate this break. And set your phone, and in 10 minutes, we will be back, and we're going to delve into class pages, and we're going to leave with your home page set up for you, the first page. You'll leave with that. I'll show you the thing in it. So So take just a moment to kind of hunt and peck and look through those, and you may need to go in and click on the link and then click again to actually get out to the web on that. But it's bit.ly/UC samples. You take a minute to look. And while you're looking at those samples, here's what I want you to be doing. I want you to just not only just to look at them, but to also look at those from the standpoint as a teacher, a student, and a parent. And think about, look at how they're organized. What's great, what's not so great, what do you like and not. And then look at that interaction of the content. How did the students and parents interact with the content and so forth? Because that's going to be important for you to look at those designs, because you're going to want to make sure yours is user-friendly and easily navigationable or navigable. All right, so go ahead right now. Go ahead and take a few moments and look through those samples. And then we'll talk about what you've seen here in just a moment. All right, so what have you found so far? What have you seen that you really like? And if you've got, you type that in the chat if you're not with us near a microphone, to let me know in the chat. What have you seen that you really do like? I have a question here. Can parents see messages from their phone? And they can if they have the app. There's a powerful app. All right, what do you see that you like? What have you found so far? Or even what have you found that you don't like? Maybe you want some more time to look. Okay, has anybody seen anything at all you'd like to comment on? What you like, what you don't like? A little bit better understanding of anything? Someone asked here, can I still use the Power Teacher app for my phone? You can.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone asked, T-Pogue, is the daily agenda from PS, is it from a template or something that he made on his own? The daily agenda, which one was that one in? Was that in the math one? Or was that in science?
Daily agenda. Can we still use it?
I can't remember which one that's in. I know what you're talking about. So to T-Pogue, that daily agenda you're talking about, I believe that is it's in social studies. That was made in Google, and they just embedded that daily template. I think that's a Google spreadsheet. that they embedded, and where is that daily agenda, let's see. Yes, that is basically a Google spreadsheet that they embedded, or maybe it's a Word doc from Google. It's just an embed, okay? That's the question, can teachers they tend to structure pages by units, classes, or themes. How do teachers tend to do that? It's entirely up to the teacher. And how do you normally teach? That was a question I got in the chat. It's up to you how you want to structure your pages. So if you look at this one here, this one, I like the social studies the best of all of them actually, because it's so clean and so easy to use. And as the end user, I don't have to read anything really. I can look at this page and I know exactly what I need to know. And this is the landing page. And then here, when I want to delve further into it, I can see go to where I need to go and what I need to do. Now, some of you may already have web pages out there that maybe you've gotten through Weebly or maybe a third-party place. If you have something like that you've done, you can embed it. So you can put anything here. You've got an embed code, you can put it inside of Unified Classroom. So social studies, I think, is a good one. I just like it because it's clean, it's simple, and it doesn't have the big scroll of death. Hopefully you got to look at the French one. And this is what you don't want. I'm paying money for my kid to attend this school, and that teacher doesn't have anything on the page. But you know what's really happened? I bet this teacher has tons of things on his or her page. They just didn't publish the page for people to see. So we'll talk about that. Until you publish information, it is visible to no one. So you do have to publish it and make it active. And that's really the most important thing you have to remember. You're going to see how super simple and easy and intuitive that this is. I think, and you're really going to like it. I mean, I've not had anybody yet say, I hate class pages, I wish I could still use what I'm using now. I've not had anybody say that yet, and I hope today is not that day. The math page you can look at too. I'm just going to put these up on the thing. You notice this is Miss Kim, and oh wow, look at Miss Kim. She has just gone in and has been able to just create her own backgrounds and all that sort of thing. So you do have that option. But what I really like though is I love her class schedule template. That looks really good. I can copy this block and I can share it with everybody. Or if I really do like that social studies welcome, I can share that with everybody. But I probably would have had second thoughts about, using yellow font. It's kind of hard to read. Earlier, someone had asked me about translation. I can translate the page, I guess, into another language. I don't know why it wants to translate mortgage. I don't know why that's coming in, but unless this teacher is actually, teacher maybe in Luxembourg, I don't know. But that is one way that it can be translated. I mean, they can choose that translation piece, I suppose. But anyway, this is just a really good little site. Color-wise, I would think this might be an elementary teacher, it's a 7th grade teacher. But you can see that. And then finally, I want to point this one out to you. This is from Healdsburg School District in California. And I went out there and did a training for these folks. And basically, this was their self-paced course for Power School Learning Training, just kind of showcasing everything that it will do. And I'd like to show this to you so you can kind of see everything that it will do. And I'm going to throw out some vocabulary to you as I show you this. So basically, they had a Power School Learning Day, and this that you see here, this whole block in pages, you put everything in blocks. Well, this is an on-page text box, and this is an image in that text box, and this is content, and typed information in that block, and you can see that this page has a one-page layout. Well, if we go further on down into this, you'll see that you've got an image of text that is hyperlinked, and I can click continue, and it's going to take me to the next part of the course. So I can go and do all of that, and this is our navigation bar, and this has been personalized for them. But I want to show you this. This school uses Google, and they embed a Google slideshow that's interactive that the kids can interact with without leaving this page. So they don't have to go out of our classroom and go to another website and open up another window. And now they're really, instead of being on the assignment that I gave them, they're actually off on Instagram looking to see what Kylie Jenner's wearing. So this keeps them inside right here. Okay, and since I've used this with Google, I can see where they are in the scheme of things. So that's one of the things that you can do. That's my phone on. It was recording everything I just said and thought I was trying to search for something. Okay, next I want to show you just a couple more things that you can do inside of here, just so you can see the different activities. You can do embed the web activities. So I can go in and not only embed activities for my students, like with this, here's a Voki that was embedded. So this came out, and I can look at this, and you can see that click on it, it's going to embed it within there, and the students can go and listen to what I have to say or look at my information. But I can get the embed code and create it so that it goes in there, or I can just link out to it. And I also have the ability to go in and, put in voice messages. So if you teach a foreign language, maybe you want your students to be working in that sense, where they're actually responding via an audio. And I have the ability to have class discussions. And look at this is embedded. What this is a virtual field trip of the Golden Gate Bridge. So I can put in virtual field trips and use, different types of virtual field trips for my students to go in. And maybe we're talking about math or geometry or science or even English. This could be a writing prompt. Or maybe I have to have the kids go in and take a screenshot of how important it was for sine and cosine to be used in the construction of this bridge, or to find the different angles. So there's all kinds of ways that as you begin, and again, this goes to the part where you're just shopping right now, and you may not want to buy this part yet, but you can actually use Unified Classroom in a way more than just posting what your assignments are, to actually have the students engaging and interacting with that content through polls and discussions and surveys and that sort of thing. So that's just, something that I just wanted to show you. So I do like their page and that they have done. So hopefully now our appetite has been, or our curiosity has been piqued, and we can actually get in and work with ours. Now, if you have a question in the chat, can they respond with audio or just hear audio? Either one, it depends on how you set it up. So there's really very few things that you can't do with PowerSchool Unified Class Pages. So let's go ahead now, let's get back to our classroom. And if you've gone off of it, just go back to classroom.powerschool.com. As long as you haven't exited, you should be good to go and still be in there. So if you get back to your classroom, we're going to go to our class pages now and get started with our content creation. Now, remember that this is a sandbox that we're using, and so you may have information on your page already, but no need to worry, because I'm going to show you how to get to something blank so we can all be on the same page together and you can create from scratch. So to get to our class pages, we're going to click on Class Pages. And we're going to be patient as it loads. There we go. And you should have something that is similar to this. You're going to have a page. Your page may have a bunch of stuff on it. If it does, no worries. I'm going to get you to a blank page without a problem. So, again, if your page has a lot of stuff on it, we will get you where you need to be. All right, so is everybody in class pages and we're ready to move forward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so the first thing I want us to do is I want to review what you're seeing so that you know what you need to know. Let me get into a full screen view for you so we can have as much real estate as we can get on the screen. All right, so when you're in your class pages as a teacher or even as a student or parent, you'll have a little menu bar here that you can access. And you can get to your calendar, your messages here. You can get to your assignments and your polls and discussions and your grades. And you'll see that this is repeated in other areas of Unified Classroom. So again, just like those many roadways lead to the same place, you choose which road you want to take as we get through here. And once again, we're just shopping. You pick and choose what you want to walk away with today. I'm showing you a lot. You don't have to know it all. You pick and choose what you want to be part of. Over here, this is our managed class, and we've got all these different class settings here. Those are important. We'll be going through those. And that's pretty much the extent of what we need to know now. But I want everybody to be all together and on the same blank page. So let's go ahead and get us a blank page. So what I'm going to have you do, just watch me first. You're going to go to add a page, and I'm just going to title this my practice page. And I'm just going to leave everything normal and just click save. So when I click practice page, it comes up for me. So to review that for you now, you can follow me step by step. If you didn't catch that, you're going to go and click on the add page button. Title it practice page here. Don't worry about anything else and just click save. And when you do, you should have something that looks similar to this. And again, you may have some different themes. You may have red, white, and blue up here. You may have green, gold, polka dot, because this is a sandbox that was number 3. I had to switch you all to it. So it's not going to be blank. But again, we'll still get the information that we need. Okay. So just give me a thumbs up or a shout out once that we're good to go, and we'll move on forward.
Ready.
Keep
All
going.
right, we got it? All right, if you don't have it and you're in those rooms by yourself, let me know in the chat. I'm monitoring that quite frequently. All right, so this is our page. We get to add content to the page now. Yay! All right, so this is the fun part, and I love this part more than anything. Do you notice up here at the top, hopefully, I don't know what's going on with this. This looks kind of weird. We'll see if if mine's going to work. I may have to sign out and go into a different server with you today, because I have no class selected. But I'm in a class, so who knows? We'll see if it's gonna work. I may have to log out. All right, so here's our information. Now, over here, under the Manage Page piece, this is where you can work with your page settings and change your title at any time. And this is where you can go in and you can change that layout as well. So you'll come into your page settings to change the look of just the page. You'll come into the Manage Class to make global changes to the entire class. Okay, does that make sense?
Mhm.
That's how that's going to work. So you'll make global changes to the class. One thing I want to do, because I have a feeling I'm going to have issues with this server, let me log out of this one, and I'm going to log into number 3 with you, so we're all in the same place. I did, and so you'll be proud of me. I sent a really mean email. And I got a big long apology, and I'm like, your apology does nothing for me right now when you give me a server. And I mean, I know, I am. But that's one thing that frustrated me more than anything when I was a classroom teacher. I'm trying to do Word, and I can't do it because you didn't give me the tools that I needed to be able to do it with, but you expected it. All right, there we go. Hey, looky there. And I'm in the right class. Perfect. So I've got it working. Let me create a new page again. And you can just review this as well. I'm going to call it practice page. Like that's already done for me too. So let's go right here.
We're gonna move you real fast, sorry.
All right, so again, Manage Class manages the entire class. Manage Page just manages the content on the page. So any changes you make to your page settings will apply only to the page. Any changes you make under the class settings applies to the whole class. So here's how this works. This is, I'm getting that feedback. Whoever's got your audio on, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to, everything works here in content blocks. So you have to add content blocks to add content to your page. But I don't want to call this practice page, and I want to call it maybe unit 1. All I have to do that is just come in, and if I want to call it unit 1, I can call it unit 1. Now I want you to watch what happens. You see the words practice page here in that nav bar for the students and for you. If I click save, look what happens. It comes into unit, it changes to unit 1. So no matter what I want to call it, even if I want to call it maybe period 1, or if I want to call it underwater basket weaving, it doesn't matter. Whatever I want to call this page, I call it the page, and then it comes right over here. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is knowing that the page organization is important. So under this page organization, whatever is here that is on the top, that is that landing page. So when I go in to class pages as a student or as a parent or even as a teacher, and I click class pages, whatever here is on the top is my landing page, and that's what they're going to see first. So that's important because you may want to change that out as the year progresses and so forth. So in order to change what I want my landing page to be, I want my landing page to be this practice page. I can organize my pages very simply. And the volcanoes page, I want to bring that on in, or maybe just delete it. And this welcome page, maybe I want it to be underneath the practice page. Either way, to show you how to organize. So if you want to, go ahead and click on this little arrow here called Organize Pages. Now again, you see the menu stays the same. Okay. We've got a couple little extra buttons. We have the ability to add a new page from here, just like we can on that home screen. But here's where we have the ability to look and see those pages in full and what the sub-pages are under each one, and if it's published or not. If you see a gray target, that means it's not published. So no matter how much work and time and effort you've spent on this, if you do not have that page published, no one is going to see it. And I'll show you how to publish that in a moment. But first, I want you just to watch for just a moment, okay? Just watch, and I want to show you a couple of things. So if I drop and drag this out, and I want this unit 1 to be out of there, I'm going to drop and drag that out. All of my pages now are in a different order. When I click apply, I want you to look to see how this has changed. Now all of my pages are listed. I'm going to want to create some sub-pages. So I want my practice page to go to the top. So I'm going to take that practice page and I'm going to drag it up to the top. And if you can see, you see those little dots that are right around that? Once those dots appear, then that means I just drop it in. If I just go up and try to move it, it's not going to work most of the time. So you've got to look for those dots. And under my practice page, if I want unit 1 to be a sub-page of that, I'm going to bring it up, and you see how the outline is right under it? Well, if I do that, it's going to still have a separate page and not a sub-page. But if I take it and move it over, and you have to have some dexterity. See how I moved that over? Now, unit 1 is a sub-page of practice page. Though they say is now I'm going to make that a practice or a sub-page of that one. And I'm going to make this a sub-page here. And what I want to do now, instead of calling this practice page, notice how I don't have to go back to edit it. I can just click here, and I'm going to call this Italy field. Maybe let's go to Italy. Even though it's a French class, we're going to Italy. And here I can even change the name and just call this Images of Italy. Okay, and now watch what happens. I have to apply, okay? I have to apply this. And I want you to notice too that if this first page, let's go to Italy, is published, these over here will take on the same permissions. So if I don't want that one to be published yet, I can come here and either click on unpublish, which is not working for me, but I'll show you how to do it anyway. I click apply, and now you can see that I have these subpages. If I want this one to be unpublished, I click on that page, and I unpublish the page. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. I would like for you to go in and create some pages. Let's have you do that. Go ahead and just create some pages. So don't do all of this. All I want you to do is just create some pages. We're going to come back and talk about text in a little bit. So create and title some pages and organize them. Don't worry about this part right here. So create and organize 3 pages, and you can put the different titles on them. And you don't have to, you can organize how you want. If you want to drag them in, you're fine there.
How did you do the making it a subpage? Oh, never mind. You just literally did it. My bad. Oh, shoot. Yeah. You can just add page admin. You can do it all like in the organized one. It's easier to do it that way. Yeah, so once you have all your things, it's super.
And then choose of those 3 you created, which one you want to work in. It can be your practice page. You can title it My Class. And again, anything we do, we can always change it. Okay, how are we doing? Do we have our pages created and organized, or do I need to give you a couple more minutes?
I think we're good. Thank you.
We're good? Great, all right. And so once you all, just yell at me when you're done. You're like, okay, let's move. Let me know, because I can't see you right now. All right, so we've got our pages organized, and right away I can see which ones are published and are not. My Let's Go to Italy page, which was my practice page that I was working on earlier, is the one I'm going to be working on today. So you should have on yours 3 pages that you can play with. Whether or not you have made them sub pages is up to you. So we're going to go ahead and work with these pages. So I'm going to let you watch me for a couple of minutes and then turn you loose and let me go. If you want to follow along with me step by step, that's fine too. But I want to go ahead and show everything before I stop. So I don't, go, oh, wait, how did you do that? I would rather everybody watch, or those that follow along, if you get lost, just go ahead and wait, because I'm going to let everybody go and do their work, and then I'll walk through it again for those that need it step by step. So is that okay? Because I know sometimes, when I'm in a class and, it's hard to continue if I've got a bunch of people that got lost. So let me show you, then we'll come back, okay? So here we go. I'm going to go here, and the first thing I want to do is add a content block. Now, there's all kinds of content you can add on these pages for your students. So this piece that says content is actually things that the students are going to be consuming. They may interact with this content as far as viewing a video or looking at some pictures or reading some text, but I'm actually not wanting them to turn anything in here. I'm not creating assignments. I'm just giving them information to consume. So I've got the ability to let them do on-page text, and pardon me, I can add files for them to upload or download. I can add pictures and slideshows. I'd like to actually do a little trick with the on-page text, put my pictures in there. The embedded web feature is my very favorite piece. I'll show you how that works. I can add video from my own personal device, or I can actually link out to YouTube videos. And if there's a video out there that's on a site like maybe Vimeo or National Geographic, I can get that embed code and still get that video here, or simply just add it as a web link. And then I can insert audio as well. So I've got all these types of things that I can do with the content. When I want the kids to actually start working and submitting things to me, this is where I'm going to go and work with those assignments and so forth. So we're going to be touching on this here in just a few moments. But first I want to go ahead and get into that content piece. And I'm just going to walk you through and show you how to add content. And I'm going to turn you loose and let you add some content as well. My favorite is the on-page text because it is so versatile. Anytime I add a content block, I'm going to have to give it a block title. And what this is just creating basically a space for this information to go on your page. So I'm going to title this block my welcome information. And I can choose, do I want this block to function as a title, or do I want to hide this block for my students? In this instance, I'm just going to go ahead and choose to hide it. But I could always let that be visible to my students. So it's up to you if you want it visible or not. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to just kind of tell a little bit about myself. And I'm going to say, this is about Let's Go to Italy. Italy is the best. Maybe that's my headline. And I can go and look how I can edit this. And doesn't all this look familiar to you already? You've seen this before. And I can go in, I can just type in my information that I want my students to know about Italy, or maybe it's my welcome page. Maybe I'm going to call this maybe about Mrs. Bocchi. That's me. And I can give all this information about myself here as I go through and just type it in. We're just going to let me pretend like I'm just typing in Swedish for right now, just make it easy. Gobbledygook. I'm just using this as a placeholder. We're just going to pretend like it's fully English. All right, there we go. But here's what's great. I can come in and I can add a picture here too. So if I want to add a picture inside here, I can go in and I can either add a picture off the internet or I can add a picture off my computer. So I just pick which one I want to do, and I'm just going to choose a picture real quick, since I'm in the Italy folder. So choose this one. Or that one. Let's choose that one. So that picture is going to come in, and I give it a couple of seconds. If it's a really huge picture, it's going to take longer. And I don't want it that big. That's too big, so I can easily go in and just, size it down to say 250 pixels or whatever. And I can choose, you can see, this is simple. You can choose what you like. And I click OK. And yeah, that looks good to me. I think I'm going to come in here and add a paragraph or two. And then when I scroll down, again, remember with PowerSchool, you got to scroll. When I scroll down, I can go in and choose what block I want it to be in. Well, I want it to be right here at the top. Okay? So I'm going to choose that to go here at the top. And I'm going to click Save. And now, there's my information. Now, I'm going to turn you loose in a second. Let me show you a couple others, and I'm going to let you play with those for a couple minutes. So that was my text box, the on-page text. If I decide I need to edit this, I can click my gear icon that will allow me to go in and edit the block. Or I can click here, right in it, and that will allow me to edit the block as well. So that's the same, very easy to go in and make any sort of changes. Also, if I click that gear icon, you'll see I have some other options. I can copy this to my other classes if I need to. And I can choose which classes I want that block to go to as well. So I've got those options to take the gear icon. And you're going to take some time to look at that gear icon whenever you get a chance. I'm going to add another content block, and this time I'm going to add maybe some files that I want my students to have access to. And this time I want that block name to be there. So I'm going to put this files you need. And I'm going to have this go over here to this column. I click next, and you can see how simple this is. And this time I'm going to upload some files that I want my students to have. Now, if you are Google and you have the Google, you attach your domain to Google, you'll have an option here to go to Google Drive. The other sandbox that wasn't working had that option. This one does not. So, but know that you'll have a Google Drive option. But here I'm going to attach a couple of files that I want my students to have access to. So I'll just attach a couple of files here for them. And the files go there. And this is where you're going to get caught up. Why aren't the files loading? And you're going to do this. My files aren't loading. Why aren't they loading? My files aren't loading. Why not? What do I have to click on to get those files to load up and attach? Attach. And that to me makes no sense because I'm used to just taking things and it loads. So when I click attach, then those files will upload. And so that's just a little common thing. And here I can even add some information before we take our trip. Download and read these files, okay? So now I'm going to click save. And look what I got. Now, this is all fine and dandy. What are my students seeing? What does this look like from the standpoint of my student?
Nothing.
Here's how you find that out. Notice I have this block hidden, and the reason I know it's hidden is because it's this light gray color. That one I know is being seen. When I want to view by a student, I go to Manage Class, and I view as a student. Now it's going to tell me your page may not be published, and I'm fine with that, I know that. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay. And now this is what my students see. Remember that block that was right there that said info? It's not there. So this is what my students will see. And if I want to see what's published, like right here showing me everything that my students will see, but if I want to see what's actually live out there for the student, I'll click View Published. And then this is where I'll see exactly what's live for my student. So now I can see that's what my student's going to see. Now I'm ready to start editing my page again. And don't let this happen to you. Oh, I'm frustrated. I cannot edit this page. What is wrong with it? I just can't do it. It's not working, and you get frustrated. 99% of the time, even higher than that, you just have to remember to exit the preview. Because you'll preview, the phone will ring, a student walks in, you forget, you come back, you get ready to start editing, it looks like this, and you don't see that exit preview. So you've got to exit the preview before you're able to start editing again. Right. So these are your content blocks. I want to show you one more, and then I'm going to turn you loose and just let you play with adding content blocks on your page. Finally, you have images. Now, if you just want separate images, you're going to use that image content block. I like to put images too in those text blocks, so don't forget you've got that option. But if I just want to add an image block, a carousel, I can put this here, and I'll just call this Images of Italy. And I can choose that I'm going to have it thumbnails on the page. I'm going to go ahead and have this up at the top. And I click next, and it just takes me through the pieces and parts. So I'm going to upload my images of Italy. And I'm going to upload 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures of Italy. And I click open. And again, it's not loading because you have to attach the thing. So I'm going to click load and let it load. Now, depending on your internet speed and the size of your images, it will determine how fast those images upload. Now I can type in information here for my students. I click the first image to begin. And I may or may not need that. I'm going to go ahead and choose the thumbnails. And here I can enter information about my, picture. I can type captions if I want to or not. It's up to me. And if I change my mind and decide, that picture's already been on there, I'm going to take that one away. I can delete that one. And now I'm ready to finish. And now you can see why I had to have that phrase there, because in a slideshow like this, I need to tell students to click on the first image to begin. And on this, I don't think that's intuitive for the kids, so it's not my favorite piece. But when I click on the image, this is what I get. There are my captions. And I can scroll through the images that I attached. But let's say I've decided I don't like this. How do I go and change that? What am I going to click on to go in and edit that block and change the look of that? Who remembers, what do I click on to be able to edit? An individual block.
The gear on the
The
right
gear
side.
on the right.
The gear, you got it. So I'm gonna edit it, or you can double click. And so right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this one. So I can click on that one to look at it and see if I like it. And I like that one much better. And you know what? I can go ahead now, I can get rid of this phrase that's taking up my screen real estate. And I can save. And now, click on the picture to start the slideshow. We're ready to go. So that's the way I can just kind of explore it. Couple more things I want to show you, and then I'm going to let you play. Now, I don't like the layout of this page. So I can go and manage my page and change my page layout to an even 2. Okay. Hey, I like that. No, I don't. Well, let's change it again. If I change it to one column, it's not going to delete what was in this other column before. It's just going to bring everything here. And if I decide, oh, I really like the one column, but I want this up at the top, I just drop and drag where I want my things to be. Or I've changed my mind again. I don't like that. I'm going to go back to the traditional 2. And it's not going to take it back like it was. I've got to go back now and drag over those items where I want them to go. And I can even drag over my images. But what happened when I do that, let's see if they update that. Yes, they did. Used to, you couldn't see the whole image here. So, you know, I can just drop and drag. So here's what I want you to do now. I'm going to give you a second to play because you've seen me do a few things. Go in and add a couple of content blocks. Play with this. Just give it a play and just kind of see what you can add and just see how very easy it is to do. And when you go and do audio here, that is audio that is on your machine. The video is video that is local on your machine. So if you've got other videos, you're going to either embed it or choose it as a web link. Or if you've got a YouTube video, you can add that YouTube video there. So choose, go shopping, what appeals to you that you want to try, and add that. So let's give you a couple of minutes to do that, and I'll put a little timer up on the screen, and I'll answer any questions if you have those as we're working. I think you'll see how very simple this is to use. I love it. And here's the best part. You as a class, or you as a teacher, or even a school can create templates. So if someone wants to create a template that everybody can use, then you can just copy that template and just add your information, like plug and play. You still have the ability to edit it however you want, but you can save those pages as a template to your school library. And if you're ready to go and move forward before that 5 minutes is up on the split screen, you just need to give me a shout out and let me know. So are you finding it fairly intuitive?
Yes.
Good. In the chat, as I'm reading it now, it looks like we're building a page for a class. You're asking if you can build a page for the entire group of 5 classes, for those of us teaching the same classes, and absolutely you can. Also in the chat, they had asked if there's a way to preview the page before you publish, and yes, I've shown you that, where you view as a student. And I also asked if I'm going to cover the library. Yes, I am. So we're going to get all that covered for us today. I am going to show you a way where you don't have to create, you teach 5 classes of the exact same thing. Okay? You don't have to go and create 5 separate pages for each class. You don't have to do that. I'll show you how we can create sections, and you'll still be able to personalize and differentiate for each individual class, as long as it's the same exact class, like the apples to apples. Algebra 1, Algebra 1, Algebra 1. So I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit.
Thank you.
Since we had login issues and everything, I might run over about 10 minutes. Is that going to be a problem? If it is, I can kind of modify. But if we go till 3:10, is that a problem, since we had some login issues this morning? Or do I need to stop right at 3?
Oh, you mean 4:10?
Yeah, for you, I'm sorry, I'm in Central Time, at 4:10. Or do I just need to go ahead and stop at 4? Because I can kind of give you a little less work times and things. And I just feel bad because you all got just 10 minutes because of our server issue this morning.
Stop at 4, please.
Okay, I will, thank you.
Yeah, I got a honeydew list.
You got a honeydew, you know what, today's Friday, right?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, well then let's move on. Are we ready to move on then?
Yes,
Yes.
Let's move on, and you all need to tell me, let's go, rock and roll here. Okay, so you understand how simple it is to add that content?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes?
so now I'm going to kind of switch gears just a little bit, and I'm going to talk to you about assignments, okay? When you add assignments to your page, you're going to be able to add those unified classroom assignments and the regular assignments. But before we get to that, I need to explain about assignments to you. So this again, if you'll just watch, I'm going to take this over here and go back to my dashboard. Now you remember earlier in the dashboard, when we first were here, for instance, I go to add an assignment from the dashboard. Who remembers? Right here. Okay, these are our options right here. If I choose to add an assignment here from this green area, and this is a little confusing, it's only adding the assignment to this class that I'm currently in. So I don't do the green very often. I like to go and add my assignment, the unified classroom assignment here from the blue area. Now, listen carefully. This is the unified classroom assignment that's going to give me options to apply this assignment to multiple students, to individual students, and to multiple classes. If I choose this one, it's only going to be for that class. So the green is just the assignment in the class, and the blue for the unified classroom is assignment that's going to be global that I can have a lot of options with. In class pages, I go to add those assignments from class pages. The unified classroom assignment is the blue piece that goes global versus this one that's just specific to the one class. So I'm going to show you just a couple of things. So if you'll just kind of watch, and then you can kind of try it out. So here's how this goes. I'm going to go ahead and I want to make sure that I've set my default to the blue. Because that's the one I'm going to be using a lot. You're going to choose something else. So I'm going to show you how each one of these works and how you can go in and create assignments in 3 or 4 different ways. So when I'm ready and we've got this set to my basics, then all I need to do is come over here and click the plus sign. If I change my mind, I can always do the drop down. So I'm ready to create an assignment. And I'm just going to call this, just so that it's easy to differentiate for me, I'm just going to call it Atlanta 101. And when I create this assignment, I can enter the description of the assignment. And this is where I've got to tell my kids what to do. This is what you need to do, or these are your instructions. And with this, again, I've got all those same options. I can add tables, and I can even attach files. Hey, this one's working. From my computer or from Google Drive if I want students to work with that. Okay, so if I attach that from the Google Drive, I'll have the option on if I want the students to get a copy, the same thing that you would have if you were in Google Classroom. So I can do that. And then there are gradebook categories set up by the school, and then you also have the ability to go in and create your own gradebook categories as well. I'm going to leave this as classwork. Now, do your students have devices?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to submit work online then. And I'm going to have this due today. Maybe I'll have it due later. But here's what I love about this. I can go in ahead of time, like let's say I'm covering Unit 1, and I know that I'm going to have 4 or 5 different assignments for Unit 1. I can go in and cover that and add these assignments, even if I put this due date as August 12th. But I don't want my students to know these assignments are coming up, because you know what's going to happen. Oh, you got all this coming up, and or, oh, I'm taking my kid to Disneyland. You can't have that assignment like that.
Yeah, right.
So I can pick and choose when I want my students and my parents to see that assignment, to know that it's out there. So I can choose to have it come on and be visible on a specific date, or so many days before the due date, or the due date. So I've got options here, which I don't have when I'm in the other area of UC. Now I go up, and again, you gotta scroll in PowerSchool. Please don't forget to scroll. This is where I can come in and decide who I want to have this assignment. If I want this to go to all classes, boom, click, and it does. But let's say that little Bethany Bondi, or it's not so sharp, or maybe Bethany has some modifications that I'm gonna have to do for her. I can go in and check off the students that I don't want to have that assignment, and they're never going to know the difference, because I can save and I get another assignment and just assign to them. So on their dashboard login, they'll see that, and my grades will reflect that as well. So I have the option to differentiate for my students. Here I can choose my scoring type based on my points in this case, or maybe if I want it to be a percentage, I can choose whatever type of point system that I want. And if I want to weight this assignment, I can have it count more than 1 time or 2 times. That's entirely up to you. Do I want this assignment to be part of the final grade? If I do, here we go. But this is important, what I'm going to tell you here. If I decide that I want to have this assignment count as a final grade, but I choose not to publish the scores, that whatever this child makes, whatever little Janie makes on an assignment, let's say she's got hundreds all the way across and makes a 50 on this assignment. The only thing her parents are going to see in that grade book, and the only thing that Janie's going to see in that grade book, is going to be her hundreds. So why does she have an 85 average? Because you didn't publish that score for them to view. So what they see is not necessarily what they get for their grade if you don't publish that score. And there may be times where you have a reason not to publish the scores right away. And that's perfectly fine. If you're not ready to publish those scores because you know that you're going to maybe do a regrading of them or whatever, but just know that if you forget to publish the scores and you have it counting the final grade, it will affect that average. If you have rubrics that you've created, you can attach a rubric to the assignment as well. I don't have any here that I want to attach. And then you're going to choose how you want this to be scored. So in this case, since I'm not scoring with standards, I would probably just go ahead and choose my score separately. And I have the option here to save and duplicate or save and close. So that's the first way I'm going to create that assignment. Now, look what popped up on my dashboard. There it is. From my dashboard, oh man, I don't want it due today. I can come over here and edit it from my dashboard. Or I can come right here and I can go directly to my score sheet and I can score that assignment from here. Now, this grade book is set up with A, B, C, D. My hands are tied on that, yours will be too. But if you're set up with numerical, your grade book will be set up as it should be. So I can do that right from my dashboard. I can go to it there. Or if I want to take it a step further from my dashboard, I clicked the wrong button. From the dashboard, I can go into my Power Teacher Pro gradebook, and it might give me a message that says, hey, don't you want to do this in Unified Classroom? And I can say, yeah, I do. But now I can actually go in and I can score this through here, okay? And then if I had my grades for that assignment, and I can also go in here to my score sheet. And if you've already had your PTP gradebook, you're already familiar with that. I can go in here and find my Atlanta assignment, and I can score it through here, okay? And that works just the same as you've always seen it, or I can mark it later incomplete. So that's when I do that assignment from the dashboard, choosing the Unified Classroom assignment. If I choose to do the assignment from class pages that way, let me show you the difference. So if I add my content block and I want to add assignments and I want to use the Unified Classroom assignment, just like the one I just created, I click on that, and in this instance, I have to search for existing because I have to have created those blue assignments first before I can find it. So I'm going to call it Atlanta. My Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go ahead and choose this block placement over here at the top. And I search through my existing assignments. So now I can go in and I can assign Atlanta to them. I can assign the Bistro assignment to them. I can assign the Blue assignment to them already and have those assignments on my page. And, okay, these are due by Friday. You know, these are due this week, whatever I want to say to them here. I can even add more. Wait a minute, Bistro, oh no, change my mind, I can delete it. I click save, and now these are the assignments that are ready to go for my students. And that's how it works with blue. Now I want to show you how it works with green, and then I'm going to let you look at that for just a moment. So now if I go from my dashboard and choose to do one from the green, there are many different ways to do it. I can click here to do that assignment, and it's going to take me to this page. Okay. If I do it from class pages, and I want to add those same type of assignments, just basic assignments, it's going to make me add another block, okay? And I'm just going to call it Green Atlanta. And I'm going to put my block placement over here. I have the option to search for existing assignments I've created already. But do you see how the one that I created for the Atlanta 101, it's not there because it was created for the global course instead of specific for this class. So green is specific for the class. So if I need to go in then and create a new assignment, and I just want it just for this class, I don't need to differentiate. Let's put it new green. Creating an assignment from here looks like this. I'm going to title the assignment. I'm going to call it new green. I can still add rubrics. I still give my information. I can still have the due date of when I want it due. I can still allow them to submit their work online. But you see, I don't have the option to have it in the Atlanta box. I have to choose that assignment block. Now, in this sandbox, there's not a gradebook set up, right? So yours would automatically go there. But do you see how I don't have the ability in this way to differentiate for different students or anything else? So it's just that type of assignment is specific to the class. Okay? So once I save it, now there's the green assignment just for that class. Okay, just for that student. What does this look like for the student? I want to see what it looks like. Now, where do I go to view what the student sees?
Manage class.
Manage class, and I'm going to go to view as a student. And right now I'm viewing everything. If I just want to view what's published, I click view published. That's what it's going to look like for the student. Okay? And I've noticed I got to scroll. I'm going to start bringing some stuff over to the other column. So it's always important to view it as a student. Please view it as a student. Because that way I can see, oh wow, I need to go over here because the kids are going to scroll to death, they won't look at anything. All right? So very quickly, if you want to, please just go ahead and see the difference and how easy it is to create that assignment. And then go into your grade book and look at that graded assignment and see how easy you can get to it from there. And then after we do that, I'm going to show you how to go through and create one class. It's going to be like a master class that contains all of your classes. So practice with those assignments for just a moment. And then I'll be happy to answer questions while you're working with those assignments. And you all are probably, when do you all have summer vacation? Are you already back?
We're back to work.
Wow, wow. So when do the kids come back?
Next week,
Monday.
Monday?
Are you kidding?
No.
Wow,
Oh, just the freshmen. Just the freshmen.
okay.
We,
You all go back early.
we,
Is it
We
as hot
didn't
here in
leave.
Atlanta as it is in Texas right now? We've got 112-degree heat index.
No.
And we are gone.
it's freezing in this room.
Oh, good.
But let's get things for that.
Okay. All right, so I think you've got that. I just wanted to show it to you. I do want to show you a couple of other things really quickly, and I apologize I'm having to rush through it again with that server thing, but I know it's Friday and you're ready to get out of here. So let's say that you've got this class. I'm going to talk about the library a little bit because I know that a couple of you wanted me to show that. But let's say I've got this perfectly created class and I want to share it. I can go in here and manage this class and I can share my class out. And I can send it to maybe an individual, or I can send it to the library. And I can actually put this class in the library that will allow others to access it and then make a copy of it so it becomes their own and then they can edit it. So I can do that through the sharing of the class. In addition to just sharing the entire class, I can just share this page. So if I've created a welcome page, and I want everyone to use this welcome page, I can go in and I can actually share that page as well, either via an individual invitation or to the library. So when that comes inside the library, from there, I'm going to access that via the learning content piece. And when I go to my library, you can see that here's something that's in here already in this instance. And when I choose, I can choose what's in here and then decide if I want to use it. So I can look at this computer class. Do I like this? Hey, looks great to me. So I can go back and just use that resource and it will copy that resource to my class. Now, I'm kind of doing like the Rachel Ray version of things. You've gone to a commercial break, you come back, the brownies are ready. Well, I went ahead and used that resource and then it pops up. It doesn't overwrite content, but it pops up on my own page with all the information that was in it. I think I deleted all the information off of it before in a previous time. That comes into that library piece. So that is one way that you can share your information back and forth with one another without having to recreate the wheel. So if you're working together with white people, that's something that you're going to want to do. Now, if you're going to want to come back to this later, what I'm going to show you in the help files, I'm going to demo this, but in the help center, if you copy, you want to know how to create a master class, if you just type in master class, these are the step-by-step instructions for creating a master class right here. But I want to demo this for you very quickly so you can see how it works. And if there's anything that I have not covered, you're like, I'm going to die if I don't know this answer, or I just need to know this for sure, type it in the chat and let me know, because I want to make sure that we don't lose connection time because of that server stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you how this works when you go to create a master class. You're going to go into your quick links, and you're going to go into learning my classes. And this is something I want you to watch. You're going to create a new class, but you're not really creating a new class. You're creating a kind of an overlay, so to speak. So I'm just going to call this my master class. And the students won't see the word master class. They don't see their own individual class. And I can go through, I'm not going to have the kids use Bubba or anything like that. And I'm going to, look at your years. Again, we're in a little sandbox. I create my new class and name it. I'm going to click next. And I'm going to click finish. I've got my master class created. It's that simple. There it is. But I don't have any students associated with this. So what I want to do is I want to link those 2 French classes that I teach to this class. And even though this is still French 2, I'm now creating this as a master class, and this is going to be the overlay for. So I'm going to go in and actually edit the roster. And if you're in the back end side of the admin, don't worry, we're not messing with the roster. You're not adding or doing anything with the roster. But what you're doing is you're going to create sections to associate with this class. And again, this is there in that master class instructions step by step. But sometimes if you see it first, it makes it easier. So yeah, blah, blah, give them your firstborn. I want to do all that. I'm going to create this class, and I'm going to add a section. So instead of calling this section A, I'm going to call this period 2. And I'm going to import students. I'm not adding a student. Don't add a student. I want to import students. And I want to import students from my classes. And it's important that I do this because if I just add students, then it's not going to, like if the student switches schedules or switches sections, it won't update. So I want to make sure I import my classes so that that becomes updated. So now I want to import this class to my master class, and I'm going to link it, and I'm going to look to see that all of this looks right, and it does, and I click import. Now this is not French 1 and French 2, it is the exact same class. I've got to stress that. It's the exact same class. So if you're teaching the exact same thing for the exact same class, use this. If you're not teaching, you're not mirroring classes, you can't do this, okay? So now I'm going to manage sections. This one looks good. Now I'm going to add another section, and this is going to be called period 3. So I'm going to call this period 3. I'm going to import my students, search my classes. There's third period. I'm going to import them. Looks great. Now I need to add one more class because I've got 3 sections of the exact same thing I teach. They meet at different times of the day. So now I'm going to manage my sections. And I'm going to add a section here. And this time I'm going to add and call this section period 4. And all these classes are the exact same class. I know I may be going overboard saying that, But too often, teachers don't listen to that, and it becomes a problem. So there's period 4, and I'm gonna import them. Now, once that's done, life is going to be fantastic for me. Now, I've got it. That's great. Now, this is important. I've got to make it active. That has to be active for it to work. Now, once it's active, you're going to see something pop up here. Okay, go on, we're good. Now, this is my class. I'm going to say welcome. I'll add some content. And you notice where I have it selected here, all sections? This is being added to all sections. So now every single section will have the information that I add. I guess I didn't save it. Block placement, let's put it at the top. There we go. Oh, it went over there. Oh, so now all sections have that. So if I go here to section 2, and I only want something on section 2, just for section 2, I have that selected. So I'm just gonna put on page text, and I'm just gonna call this just 2. So you can see how this works. So let's say we had a fire drill or something, or the class got extended. So now you see where it says just 2.
Yeah.
But if I go to section 4, they're not gonna, they won't have just 2. It says just 2 here, but they won't have it. So if I go in and I view this as a student, that's just for section 2, they won't see it. Now, it's showing up here in this sandbox, maybe for me as the teacher, but it does not show up for that student in that section. I can assure you of that, I promise. So I created this now. I've got all of my sections that I can do. So if I apply something to all sections, it goes to everybody. If I just want something going to section 2, it just goes to section 2. If I do this and I change my mind, okay, and you really don't want to change your mind, but maybe you play with this in the sandbox because you still have those logins for as long as you want to play with them, maybe for the next week or so. If you go into learning my classes, you'll see there's that master class. And if I change my mind to delete it, I delete it. But you want to be careful about that because, you know, play with it first in the sandbox and see if you like it. If you have your multiple classes and you don't want to go through that, you can go to this page and I can copy the page over to my French 2 class and choose where I want it to go and so forth as well. So you've got options to have a master page and then you can go through and just copy that page over or copy the blocks over, or you can go in and you can have your master class, which you find under learning my classes, because if you come out of it, you have to go here to find it. You can use it from your master class and apply it to the individual people in that way, okay? And again, you'll find those step-by-step instructions like on help and help center and just doing a quick search for master class. And it will walk you through it step by step. And now that you've seen it, you'll see that it's a lot easier to do. Okay. Now, is there anything that we need to know about? It says on the Power School, we chose a variety of due dates for various groups. Can you upload the same assignment and have it due on different dates?
Yeah, sure.
What I would do would, Dr. I don't think you can assign different. You did it last year in Power School though, you should still be able to do it here. Can you upload a master class with the same assignment and have it due on different dates? You can remove it for just one section. If you're in the master class and you're applying it to all sections, you can't have different due dates, but if you apply it to different due date, different sections, you can have the different due dates. And can you find the same in several classes with different due dates? Can you assign it the same in several classes with different due dates? I don't think so, but I'm gonna look into that, because that is, I know y'all are wanting to go, and so,
If,
if I assign it in different due dates, let's go back over here to our assignments. I think each assignment only has its own due date, but what you can do, and this is what I would do, when I do that assignment, I would save and duplicate, and then make the other one with a different due date. And that's what it just says, and can you just copy the assignment and then add it to another class? Yes, you can copy the assignment and add it to another class. And then I've also been asked if the assessment function replaces GradeCam. There is an option similar to GradeCam. It's not called GradeCam in the assessment piece, but the assessment piece is a different training entirely. You cannot create an assignment with a time limit. I'm answering these questions from the chat, but you can create an assessment as an assignment with a time limit. Okay, or you can have that assignment disappear from the viewing if you wanted to, but there's no option to create a time limit on the assignment at this time. It says in Power Teacher, you can publish an assignment and select when the different classes can see it. I'm gonna have to look at that and find out, because if you can do something in Power Teacher Pro, you should be able to do the same thing here. But I don't see those options when we, here we go. When can they see it? There it is right here.
Yep.
There it is. I was just misunderstanding the question. So yes, but as far as like 30 minutes before, I don't know that you've got that unless you've got a specific date. We do the specific date, but you can't do the specific time. Okay. All right, I'm gonna, Carlos has my email, and I do not have any problem at all if you want to share that email out with the teachers. And if you've got a quick question and you're just like, gee, do I have to really look this up? I am more than happy to answer the questions, especially since today we had those issues with our server. So I feel indebted to you to help you out in that way. So if you say, hey, do you have a template you can share with me? I do. I've got all kinds of things there as well. So anything you need, I'm more than happy to help you with that. So are there any other questions that you may have that I can answer for you? Did I miss answering any questions that you need to know?
She got mine. Nope.
Okay, well, great. Well, then, in that case, then, I just have one thing for you to do, right here. I need you to go in and fill out this survey. And please understand that the problems with the server, that was not me. That was not me. Just so you know, that wasn't me. But I would like your feedback on today's training. So if you'll go into bit.ly/uppercase PS Angie, and it is case sensitive as it is on your screen. And your project number today is 25777. If you'll go in and complete that survey for me, I would be much obliged to you. With a reminder that, again, I was given a bad server that was working last night at midnight. And I did send a nasty email. But email me if you need anything. Once you've completed the survey, you're free to go. Have a great start to your school year. I know you're excited. I'm always excited the first week of school. I can never go to sleep the night before. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here for you. That's why I am still working, because I feel like I want to help teachers. We help our teachers. We get our teachers happy, then everybody's happy. So let me know if there's anything else I need to do for you. Otherwise, have a very fabulous start to your school, and maybe we'll be seeing you online again sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you. It was wonderful webinar.
All right, great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Alyssa's got a question if she makes a modification after publishing. The change will be reflected in Unified Classroom, but if the student's already started that assignment, it will not.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool, thank you.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
For all the teachers, when you go into the unified classroom, into the Cristo Rey, you have at this moment your account, you have the environment, but you don't have the classes. We are in the process of integration. This is going to be this weekend. Students' accounts will be creating, and then you will be able to see next week your classes. And then you will be able to work on the pages for each class when you have a class like this fake class that you have in working today. So we are in the process of having all the students. We will send the information for the students to have the account to Unified Classroom as soon in the first week, even before they come. And also we will have send the information for parents to open the account and to have all the information for them. With that, thank you for all your attention. I record this webinar, so as soon as I edit the video, I will put a link for you, and in that case, you will be able to go back and forth if you didn't get it some.
And also make sure you look at those workbooks that I gave you. Remember those bit.ly links to the workbooks? Those workbooks are awesome. They give you step-by-step on how to do everything as well. If you're a workbook person, and then again, don't forget those sub-files, because there's lots of little shortcuts there as well. But I don't think you're going to need it. You're going to find this is super friendly and easy to use. All right. Well, everybody have a great weekend and rest up for those kiddos coming soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
All right.
Thank
We'll
you,
talk soon.
guys.
Bye-bye.